Hey, good morning. We are live once again. Welcome to Hospitality with me, Rupesh. I am super excited because I'm going to be doing this every Wednesday now, Wednesday at 9:15 Eastern. And I see that we're going live because I just got the LinkedIn notification. So definitely look out for the LinkedIn notification when you're trying to find this show. And guys, I am super excited to have on Micky Klein. She's an interior designer. She's a commercial designer. She does hospitality, pretty much everything. She does homes, she's done everything, right? I'm super excited to talk to her about design today. And guys, this is episode number 17. I can't believe I've already done 17 episodes. And we're gonna continue this because I like this. And if you like this, please comment yes if you do, and let us know where you're listening from. Last week, I think we had some people from the other side of the world, Asia, Malaysia. We had some people from all over the world that listen in and tune in. Guys, thank you so much for joining me and learning about hospitality and learning about customer, a bunch of stuff that we share in the hotel space. So I'm super excited to continue sharing this with you, which is hospitality. And guys, this episode, number 17, is brought to you by Travel Media Group. Now, if you have problems with your social media, if you just need to get on social at your hotel, hit up Travel Media Group because that's what they do. They help hotels with reputation management to improve your reviews on all the channels, not just TripAdvisor, but every channel across the board, including Google, which is super important. And they also help you with social media. So if your hotel needs to post daily, like we talked about in the past episodes, hit up travelmediagroup.com, travelmediagroup.com, and get to my link. It's travelmediagroup.com/Rupesh. I'm a brand advocate. My hotels use it. We love it. It's actually improved a lot of things, especially online reviews and internal feedback too. So hit them up. Guys, thank you so much, Travel Media Group. Let's move on with the show because I am super excited to bring on Micky Klein because I've been following her on social and she's doing a lot of awesome things. And guys, before we bring her on, I do this every Wednesday, right? And next Wednesday is Christmas morning. Now, should I actually get on LinkedIn and post something or go live next week, Christmas morning at 9 o'clock. Let us know. We have a bunch of people on. Hey, Nate. Hey, Crystal. Crystal's awesome from Texas. She actually came to our hotel about a year or maybe a year and a half ago, and she was like, I just got to meet you. And so she stopped by my office one day and one of my properties and said hello, which is awesome. Crystal, welcome. Chad, there's a bunch of people on. Tony. Guys, comment where you're. Eduardo says Guatemala. I love this. Like, we're inspiring people from all over the world, which I am super passionate about. So I'm going to continue sharing this. But should I go live on LinkedIn next week, which is Christmas, even if it's for like 15 minutes, because it is powerful to continue teaching this and get on a schedule, right? I don't want to stop and I want to continue this. And I think the following week is January 1st, New Year's Day. And I'm going to not be in my office, but I'm going to continue sharing these ideas. So 2 weeks in a row that a special or a holiday is on a Wednesday, right? I think I'm going to do this. What do you guys think? Let me know. Hit the comments. Let us know. Hey, Heather. Hey, Neil. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to continue. I'm looking over here because I'm reading the comments on LinkedIn, and I'm just happy that you guys are here joining me. And I am super passionate about design. Like, if you look at the back, we actually last night changed the artwork. I love art. I love design. And I love just like stuff that's beautiful, right? It makes me feel good. It makes people that come to the office feel good. And it's great for presentation. Now, let me talk to you a little bit about design because about 12 years ago, I was renovating a hotel. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do everything myself. I'm going to do my own construction. I'm going to do my own design. I'm going to do everything. And I actually did it in 9 or 10 months. I completed an entire project. We added rooms to the property. I borrowed my cousin's general contractor's license. And when it came to the design aspect of it, I went to the HD show in Vegas. I don't know if you've ever been. If you love design, you have to go to the HD Hospitality Design Show in Vegas. And I think it's like in September. No, it's in May. It's usually around May. And I would go in and fly in, get ideas, and then leave, right? And I love that where you can you're not thinking of these ideas yourself. Like, you're going to experts and you're going to the industry and you're going to these conventions that inspire you. And that's what I did. So while I was going through the construction and the design phase of me putting the renovating a property, I went to the show, got a bunch of ideas. Then what I did was I also went to all the brands that were popping up new prototypes. So, every brand, Marriott, IHG, Hilton, Choice, everybody. And I said, hey, send me your specs on what you guys have new prototypes with. And then so I can get some ideas on what materials and the way the space looks. And I had a lot of flexibility in how I could design my lobby and stuff. And I did that. And since then, I've had a passion for design. I've had a passion for just like doing a lot of different things. And if you notice, if you're on my Instagram, you notice that I'm just not this one guy that just likes like cooking or like hotel. I like everything. I like partying. I like having a good time. And that's what life's about, right? And let me show you really quickly. I actually designed this when I was going through that renovation. And I showed this on Instagram the other day. Hang on, I'll show you. So I designed this background right here under the front desk. And basically it's a foam board that I punched holes in. And then I did the tufting. And I love that you can just think outside the box, right? And create something, right? And you don't have to be a professional designer to kind of come up with some ideas. You borrow ideas from different places and what you like, and you bring it into your basically what you're doing, right? And so finish that project. I've been doing a bunch of those things. So I love design. I love hotels, and combining those two is a passion of mine still. And yeah, let's continue this. But I want to bring on somebody super popular, super special in the space, and she's been doing hospitals, nursing homes. She's done a bunch of stuff, right? Let's bring her on because I'm excited to talk about design and what the new trends are for 2020, right? So welcome, Micky Klein. Welcome, Micky, to LinkedIn Live Hospitality with me.
Hi, thanks. It's a real pleasure to be here. This is so cool.
It sounds like I have too much energy, and I do, because I woke up at 4:30 this morning and went to the gym. And
I'm going to join you in a few minutes. It's coming.
This is my third cup. Don't tell anybody, but this is my third cup of coffee. I need it because I'm there. They say that you're a morning person, but I feel like I'm not a morning. I think it's just like a mindset. What do you think?
Definitely a mindset, or you can actually train your body to be a morning person. Unfortunately, I'm both a morning and night person because that is what happens when you have kids and a business and life. But coffee definitely helps.
Absolutely. Well, I've been following you on social, and I see all the beautiful stuff that you post, and I love like the color schemes, and I love all the materials that you use. How did you get into this? How did you get into design? Because a lot of people want to get into design, but how did you start?
So I sort of fumbled upon it like by accident. I got married young and I had 2 kids, and I love doing like parties with friends and decorating people's houses with them. Like every time I wanted to have a lunch date with a friend, I'd be like, oh, let's just go to like Marshall's or TJ Maxx or Home Goods and see what they have and see what we could do with it. And it just developed from there. I went to school and I had 2 little kids. I did a lot of it online because that's what happens when you multitask life. And it just developed from there. I started off in residential design, and then I did a lot of multifamily back in Michigan before I moved to Miami. And then just healthcare, hospitality, commercial, it all just developed from there. And that's how I got into it.
Awesome. So did you live in Chicago? Where else did you live besides Miami?
Michigan.
Yeah. What were you doing in Michigan? As far as I see that you have a big following on on Instagram. Guys, she has I think she has about 19,000 followers. Yeah, she has 19.1 thousand followers on Instagram. And if you're not following her already, follow her at what is it, Micky _Klein_interiors.
Yeah.
Guys, follow her. She has a bunch of beautiful stuff online. You got into the residential side, and then you kind of went into the commercial side. How did that work?
Right. So I started off in residential. So you'll see my Instagram is a lot of inspiration. A lot of my followers like to say, I'm doing a renovation, or I need to dress up a room, or, I can't afford to actually redesign my home, but I can afford to do some paint and accessories. So that's where my Instagram is. It's really more inspiration for my followers who are more residential based. I slowly got into commercial when I started with the multifamily. So that was clubhouses, apartments, exterior, co-office spaces, like that kind of stuff. So it just like trickled into that. It was sort of like the commercial residential merge, I guess you would say. And then I did a few synagogues. Like it just trickled down into, oh, you've done a clubhouse. Okay, so you can do a synagogue. Oh, you've done this, so you can do that. And I'm like, sure. And I'm always up for the challenge. I actually love that. It just keeps me going. It fuels me. And that's really where it's at. You know, it's just development.
I feel like right now in the space that we are, I think it's like you can merge both those things together. Design for commercial and design for residential. People want that commercial look in their house these days, and then same thing, commercial, like hotels, they want that residential feel in their lobbies and in their rooms, because when you're talking about the hotel space, you want it to feel like your home, right? You don't want it to feel like it's boxy and uncomfortable. And I love that, how you can combine those two things and kind of make it your own.
Yeah.
And well, listen, are there rules in design?
There are rules in design, but most good designers out there, they tend to break the rules a little bit. They stick within some guidelines, but they merge in the the fun stuff of breaking the rules. But they know that the key is knowing how to break them, so it's subtle and it makes a big impact without it being like, what were they thinking?
Right. Hey guys, if you have a question for Micky, hit the comments and let us know. Right, Micky, you want to hear some questions?
I will answer all your questions.
Please hit her up with a really hard question, guys.
It's okay, I have coffee. Let's go.
Oh, before our conversation here, I was telling Micky, I was like, hey, the last 2 days, I've been helping my son with his exams. And this is like the last week of school and he has exams. And I'm like, I don't think I learned any of this stuff. And Micky's like, I didn't either. And it's just hard, right? So not those hard math questions, but anything that has to do with the hotels and design related, we'll take those. Do you agree?
Yes, definitely.
No math, right?
Nothing to do with school, please, because not the high school tutor over here.
Well, guys, we have Deborah Bailey on. Hey, Deborah, Steve, Jerry, definitely ask a bunch of questions. And all right, let's get into the top 10 design trends for 2020, hotel design trends, because that's what we're here for. You can like transform your lobby just with what? Like color, materials, what?
Yeah, basically, so I want to go back to first impressions. You know, we have the five senses and touch is the first one. But when you walk into a commercial space or a hospitality space or a hotel lobby, you're not going around touching all of the textures. The first sense that you're going to use is sight. So you don't want to overwhelm the sight, because as humans, we don't know where to look first. If we're overwhelmed, we are going to look at the lighting or the wall art or the flooring if it's too over patterned, or the reception desk, or I mean, I could keep going. You really want to know how to draw the eye in and make the guest feel invited and welcome and sort of at home, like comfortable. They want to walk in and be like, okay, I want to stay here. And more importantly, I want to come back. So it's not just, you know, pile in all the trends and get it all done and make it look so luxurious and so amazing. It's your delivery and execution of the design. So that's it's really the most important thought when you first walk into the hotel lobby. Should we start with the top 10?
Let's start with the top 10. We have a bunch of questions too. So I think they're saying, Crystal says, can you show images? Crystal, in this format, we cannot show images, but hey, I'm happy to send you over some images.
Yeah, and I'm going to be super descriptive. So you'll be like, oh, that makes sense. As soon as I'm talking, you'll be like, okay, I can understand what that is. So hopefully you can relate to it a little.
Yeah, Chad and Bill, we're going to get to your questions. And yeah, let's start with the top 10 hotel design trends for 2020.
Because I'm going to be answering a lot of these questions as we go through, because Chad just had a question about hard 90-degree angles. So that's actually changing. So we're gonna get to it.
Okay.
So the first one. What?
What's number one?
Muted colors. So what muted colors means is if you're going to take a blue or a red or a pink, anything bright and bold, the way to mute it down is either to add black to it or white. It's like the secret of, I guess, as a woman, let's try to, relate. But if you're going to go for a manicure and you want to get a lighter color, if you put white behind it on the first layer, it's going to be a drop more pronounced, but also muted, believe it or not. So by adding white or black to whatever color you're choosing for your walls, it's actually going to mute it and make it more warm, more, comforting. And that's basically very into, we're not going bold anymore. Other ways we're going to go bold, but on your walls, on your backdrop, which is basically just, it's setting the tone for the whole entire space. Muted colors are what's really, really hot, what's coming in.
So what colors? So I know in our lobby, like 5 years ago, we used to have red because red was like super, like accent walls, right? Back in the day. Right. We just converted everything to like grays, light grays, really, really just muted colors. Is that what's the trend?
Yes. I'll say yes, but there's also a way to mute your color scheme. So if your hotel brand has a certain color scheme that they want to use, they can still stick within that family, but mute it down and make it feel more neutral. So it's tricky, but it's doable. So why should a brand change their whole entire color scheme? There's ways to complement it and bring it out and make it really stand out without being like, oh my God, that's overkill for the eye when you first walk in. So there's ways to do it by just muting the color, basically staying within the same family, but switching the tone.
Okay, now should a hotel paint their doors the same color as the color of their logo, one of the colors of their logo? I see that often. Or there'll be a brand.
How it's done.
Huh?
It depends. I'm not going to say no, but I'm definitely not going to be like, sure. It depends. What color? Is there a better, more neutral color that will complement the whole entire design? Then I would say maybe go with that color, not the most bold. Like if you're going to have red walls, to paint the doors yellow is just going to be overkill. So I would almost find a different either complementary color or a color within the same logo or family that sort of complements and doesn't overpower.
Okay, so number one is muted colors. All right, number two.
Okay, curves. This answers the question of the 90-degree angles. Basically, all of that is out. Don't mind the chair behind me. Curves. So that means rounded walls. I'll give you an example. If you walk into the lobby of a hotel and you see the reception desk right in front of your eye, let's just say it's centered. Either the reception would be rounded or the focal wall behind it could be rounded with a wave. So we're getting rid of the harsh lines and we're just adding in curves. Furniture, like if you look online, sofas and chairs, they're all more rounded. They're not squared off. Another great one is for a conference room. If you wanted to do a large, extra large round table, it just makes people feel more involved and more accepted and more just, I would say, I keep going back to comfortable, but it is. When you walk in and you sit at a round table, you see everyone. When you're sitting at a rectangle table, you either see the person across from you or the person next to you. It's very hard to lean forward and see down the table. Round table. Also, believe it or not, anything round fits more in a tight space. You can sort of put it in the corner. So there's a lot of perks to doing anything with curves or rounded corners. Another big one is arches. So a regular door frame usually is 90-degree angles. And now everyone is sort of incorporating arched doorways, arched doors. So the bottom, and there's a way to do it, where you don't have to throw out your arch door. You can literally have the contractor round out the edges of your rectangle current door, and they'll fix the door frame as well. And it's just a simple, easy switch. Like people will ask, how do I do a big update on a low budget? These types of things are super, super important to give that wow factor without hitting the budget, like out of the park. And then you get the best of both worlds.
Now, are we talking about in the rooms or are we talking about in the lobby or?
Anywhere. Curves are in. That's just where it's at. So there's ways to incorporate it in each space. So if it were a lobby or the reception, I would say the reception desk should have rounded corners, maybe a waved wall behind or some sort of a cylinder beam behind, in between. You know, there's different creative ways. The furniture should be rounded as well, maybe circle rugs, circle conference table. And then if you're going to go into the guest suites, rounded headboards you could do, rounded arch doorways you can do. Oh gosh, I can keep going. Furniture.
So now, if we have a braided, hotel, then a lot of things you cannot do, but some things for independents or boutiques or any of those hotels can do the specific stuff. But if you have a branded hotel and you want to have something special as far as in your lobby, like an accent piece, what do you recommend as far as, I can't change my walls because of structural or whatever, but I can add some pieces that could make it feel like it's rounded. Can you do those kind of things?
Yes. So besides for carpet, furniture, wall art, wallpaper, so you can actually make a pattern, a curved pattern, and then frame it out with molding. So you're actually, putting wall art on top. So you're not changing the base color. You're just changing a little bit on top. So you don't have to do the whole wall like that. You can just do a little area. So it's almost like a wall art, which gives that curved feel. I would also say, believe it or not, if you were to do any wall art in a circle frame, that just gives the curved feeling. You don't have to really change much other than putting more art on the wall or different art. Rounded pillows on the sofas, on the furniture, rounded light fixtures. So there's a lot of ways. Even if you wanted to put a floor lamp, let's say you couldn't touch anything and you can just add a floor lamp or add a vase on the reception desk, just bring it in with round.
Okay, nice. Yeah. Curve. All right, so number 2 is curves. Now, well, hold on. Before we move on, are mirrors still in? Can I do a round mirror?
Mirrors are always in. Everyone always likes to look in the mirror. No, but mirrors are still in, believe it or not. It's a design trick. I'll give this one away, that designers use if it's in a small space. It just makes the room look so much bigger if you add mirrors. And you can also do wall art with different shaped mirrors and different sizes. So you can just keep going.
All right, so curve, that's number 2. Number 3, what's number 3?
Minimalism. This is, okay, exactly what it means, exactly what it sounds, minimal. I think people think that in order to make a space homey and welcoming, you need to put stuff in it, fill it up. Right. And it's not true. It's not true at all. It's all about the colors you use. It's about the placement, believe it or not. It's about having the exact right accessories in the right space and in the right spot, and to make your eye actually draw to that so that you can connect with it. So minimalism, I would say, is about, just toning it down. So how I would incorporate that, I would either put a built-in on the wall of some sort and display maybe books on it, very organized, other trinkets, organized, or like we were talking about a while ago, how like the new gift shop concept is more of, it's based out of almost like a built-in. So having a display is really the way to minimalize the clutter, but also keep it organized. And it actually makes people feel more like they can relate to the space because they know exactly what to expect when they see it. Another thing is glass or lucite furniture. Because you can see through it, it doesn't feel heavy in the room. So you can have a huge 14-foot conference table, but if it's made out of acrylic, or if the chairs pushed up to it are acrylic with some sort of fabric on it, it's just going to make the space feel much lighter, not as heavy, not overpowering. So that's really that's really what it is. Okay. Just bringing it down to minimalism.
Keep it simple. Is that what you're saying? Keep it simple. Don't clutter. Don't put stuff.
Everything should have a spot, and that's also like if you do built-ins, it's a good way to like hide stuff that you don't want people to see. Yeah. Overstock of anything. It's just I would say it's almost a way of life. It's a way to keep organized and keep on top of everything.
Now, you're saying minimalism. Now, do you personally, you can use guys, whoever's listening to this, you can use this for your home life too, right? This is not just for commercial. Yeah. This is not advice just for your hotel and commercial spaces, but this is like home advice too. Like she was talking about, you can get rid of the junk. And here's what we do in our house. If we don't use it for 3 months, we haven't used it in 3 months, guess what? It's out of here. because we're just wasting space. We're being one of those crazy people that just collect stuff and
The hoarders.
if you don't use it in 3, 4 months or 6 months and it doesn't mean anything to you personally, get rid of it because you're just buying stuff. And so that actually prevents us from buying stuff. Like we don't really need a bunch of stuff if it doesn't make sense. And I think that's a way of life in the hotel space too. Like just don't clutter stuff up just because you think it's gonna look good, right? Maybe ask a friend because they'll tell you the honest truth. Like, does this match? And instead of you just adding all this stuff and kind of cleaning up your lobby or your rooms or any of that stuff, right?
Exactly.
All right, so let's go to number 4. Understated focal points. What is
understated focal points? Okay, it's very confusing actually, believe it or not. So it used to be that a focal point was having a very, very loud wallpaper or a bold, bright wall art or a huge, like, funky chair or something like that. So an understated focal point is actually something like an amazing outside view. Let's just say your hotel is overlooking the ocean, and which is going to go into my next number 5, but it's basically furnishing and designing the room around that understated focal point. Let's say you have a wallpaper, like you were saying, how some branded hotels cannot get rid of whatever it is that, their brand is saying is needed. There's a way to make that an understated focal point and design the room around it, meaning the furniture will face that focal point. It will just bring out its natural, like, amazingness, I would say, so that when you walk in, that's the first thing you see. So we started off saying, don't overwhelm the eye. It's because you want the guest to see that one thing that they can connect to. So that's really what an understated focal point is.
What's another example?
There's a way to do it. So basically, the focal point is number 1. That's what you want the guest to see. So you're going to arrange, let's say, the lobby furniture facing that. You'll layer up the textures of the furniture and the rug and the accessories around it, side tables, coffee tables, trinkets that go on that, accessories. And then how you draw it all together is a curtain or a window treatment that will match your branded colors or complement them. And almost that's the frame of the backdrop. So it just completes the view that when you walk in visually, that's the first thing you're going to see. You can also do it with the reception area, believe it or not. The backdrop of the reception desk should be the understated focal point. If it's centered when you first walk in, whether it's a wallpaper or a stone finish, or I can keep going. There's like so many things. You want to put that as the background, and then you'll put your, logo or your digital screen or whatever it is on top. So it's almost, that is the backdrop of the whole entire space. And then you'll arrange everything else in the room or the area to complement it and to make it feel like that is still the backdrop, not take your eye away from it.
Understand. Okay. That is number 4. Number 5, functionalism.
Yes. So this is where it is more of a space planning concept. Every hotel chain, every commercial property, every healthcare facility, anything, any home has its way of functioning. So when you walk in the door, you have to take into consideration, before designers even come into the space of adding in the decor, they have to be present almost for the function of the area. So when you walk in, is reception right in front? Do you want the guest to walk in and see you? Do you want it to be to the right, where the guest can come in and view the entire understated focal point and then see the reception? Is the dining room or the communal gym off to the left? Do you want the guest to see that first? Do you want them to see, how's the space functioning is how you have to design around. And this happens to apply everywhere. It's very hard for me and other people to walk into a space and be like, I don't know where to go. Even though reception's to the right, the gift shop's to the left, the lobby's straight ahead. They still are like, where's reception? I don't know where to go. And they get overwhelmed almost. And it does create subconsciously, and it's almost psychology, a feeling of, I didn't like that first impression when I walked in. I didn't like the way I felt. And they remember that when they first walk in. So it's really important that you come up with what is the best way for the space to function first, and then we design around it. So that's really how it is. Same thing in a kitchen.
Right.
Are you a chef? Are you a baker? Are you someone who just likes to order in and heat things up? It's all about the function of how you design your kitchen based on what you use the most and based on what you want to hide the most also. So that's just what it is.
Awesome.
It's all about functioning.
Function. I know. And a lot of times you walk into a lobby or a business, you're like, what's going on here? It's all cluttered. It's not where they want to draw the customer in or the guest in. And then the guest is like, well, where's the signs? And then they start looking for signs. And yeah, I feel like it depends if you're a resort or whatever you are, like where do you want them to draw in first? Like, I mean, once they walk from the parking lot or the valet, how do they walk into the building? And then do they automatically know to make a right, or do they?
Right.
Is that what you're talking about when you talk about functional?
That's what I'm talking about. A lot of people will say, oh, signage, you just need signage. But believe it or not, most people aren't looking. They're looking for signage, but they're not. They're looking for it to almost, it's that instant gratification. They're looking for it to almost click. So when they walk in, if there's no signage saying reception or, gym or cafeteria or whatever it may be, then definitely no one really knows. But it should almost be like second nature, where reception is what the person is, wants to gravitate towards first. Just the flow of the space, really.
Awesome. All right. So what is number 6?
Number 6 is monochromatic design. So this is basically, how do I explain this so that it's easily understandable? Basically, it's about taking one color and using that throughout the space. And people are like, what does that mean? You just paint everything black from ceiling to floor, and it's just like all monochromatic, and then you put black furniture on top and black accessories. That's overkill. And what I like to say is you start from the bottom up. It means if I'm going to start with the color blue, I'm going to put some sort of neutral flooring, neutral color, and I'm going to put either a blue rug on top, or I'm going to skip the rug, and I'm going to put blue furniture. So I'm going to then go to the sofa or the chairs or the side tables. That would be lucite, because I don't want to overkill the blue. The pillows on top are blue, and they're not all the same shade. They can all be different shades of the same color. And then we'd go up to the window treatments, the wall color or the wallpaper, and just build your way up. That gives the monochromatic feel without it being overkill. And the way to just complement it is by mixing in a few shades of the same color. This can be done for reception as well, dining as well, any space. Now, this doesn't mean that when you walk in the door, everything in the whole entire space is blue. It means you choose one area to use that monochromatic design, and then you sort of design the rest, incorporating a few shades of blue, but more with a neutral backdrop.
Okay, good. Now, how do I pick a theme? I'm going to stop right here. I think we have 3 more to go. How do you pick a theme for your lobby or your hotel room? And if you don't have anything like a brand that's a standard, how do you pick that theme? Like farmhouse? Like, what are all the different popular themes right now?
Right. So it's funny because I wouldn't say there's a popular theme right now. It's all about incorporating these design trends into what people feel most relatable to. So if I were to say a theme, I wouldn't say theme, but people like calming, neutral, warm spaces. They want to feel like they're home away from home, but without having to do like anything that they would have to do in their own home. So welcoming and relatable is the theme. So would you put a chicken or a rooster on the shelf? Theoretically, you can as decor, but not overkill. Your walls shouldn't be bright red, black, and white, so it's back in the day, like country feel. There's ways to incorporate themes in a subtle way, keeping the backdrop more neutral, without losing that, I guess, hotel mission that you would say would be their theme.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
Would you bring in that local feel? Like if you're like in a city, then you might do a little bit modern like
Right.
theme. If you're like in
So
the
that's the
country.
relatable aspect. You have to, in order to design, you have to know what's around. Like, you know, what the competition is across the street, what the local people like to do, what kind of entertainment is around, what city you're in. Are you in a city? Are you in something like an area that closes down at 5 p.m.? Are you in a nightlife type of place? And you have to incorporate also the type of people that come. So let's say I'm in doing a hotel in Wynwood, let's say. That's a very artistic area. I wouldn't put
For
any.
listeners that don't know, Wynwood, it's an art district in Miami where a bunch of artists go and all of
Yeah,
the walls and all the streets, there's art everywhere.
literally.
To
And during
explain
Art Basel, which
yeah,
just was last week,
yeah.
it was insane. It was amazing. You have to almost create a space that the people who are coming, the guests, can relate to, without it taking away from the vibe of the area. So if it's artistic, it's still Miami. So you have to incorporate that feel also with keeping in mind the artistic aspect. So that actually does go into my next trend, which is fun bathroom design. And a lot of people would be like, oh, splatter paint or bubble wallpaper, or you know, what would you put on the walls? It's actually pretty cool. So what we're seeing is very, very creative almost fixtures. The faucets are made out of piping, or the handles look like, you know, sprinkler heads, or you know, like screwdrivers. As you know, there's so many ways to make it creative, and wallpaper as well. So anything that has to do with the hotel theme, their logo, their locals, their, like you were just saying, the concept of what they wanted to bring in is really brought out in bathrooms now. So you're walking in, you have a neutral, you know, vibe. You feel like, oh my gosh, I love this space. You know, you want to bring in old Hollywood glam, but you want it sort of to match the rest of the decor. So you would bring in golds. You can have chandeliers in the bathroom. You can do fun wallpaper, but a neutral floor. You have to tone it down. It can't be overkill. And then you can have, I mean, anyone's custom making faucets now that are not too crazy expensive. So you can have a regular faucet head, and then the handles can be more creative to bring in that style. And also the wall art inside the bathroom is very important. What is that concept that you want to bring in? And that's where you incorporate it. So it's not only bathrooms, but that's really where people are getting more creative now, because it's not too big of a space. But it's a new trend, and
I love bathrooms.
cool. It's a conversation piece though also. Like you'll come out and be like, oh my God, did you just see the signage on the door when you were walking out? Like people will say that.
And you know, another thing is soap in the bathroom. Like, so you could do design from a lot of aspects. Like design is not just colors and materials, but it's like the scent, it's how you feel, it's the lighting, it's the mood, it's all the senses kind of combined, right?
Yeah.
Here's a story. Earlier this year, we just took our entire flat walls in our bathrooms that were just paint, and we subway tiled the entire thing white. And it looks beautiful compared to like what it was.
Right.
And then we accented off with like, you know, some artwork and then a nice sink. But I feel like people's first impressions, especially mine, when I walk into a business and I have a small bladder, so I have to use the restroom all the time, right? I go to the bathroom and I judge my experience at this business based on how the bathroom looks, how it makes me feel, how the soap smells, like after I wash my hands, a lot of things. I even go back and I'm like, I go to my kids, I'm like, hey, smell the soap.
Did you wash your hands?
I wash my hands and I'm like, hey, smell the soap because it smells awesome, right? And they're like, I'm gonna go wash my hands too. Like that experience, and that's what design's about. It's not just the colors, right? Do you agree?
It's true. It's very true. It's about the experience, or like we said from the beginning, if you can relate to it. It's funny that you're saying that, because like I said before, I'll come out of the bathroom and be like, oh my God, that was so creative. Or, you know, I really can tell what the hotel stands for, or the commercial space stands for, like what they are all about based on their bathroom design. So we're getting a few questions about grayish colors and neutrals. There's ways to, you can always have neutrals in a space because it does make it more homey in a way, believe it or not. But no, your walls shouldn't be grayish, your floor shouldn't be grayish, your furniture shouldn't be grayish. You shouldn't be layering all the grayish on top of grayish. There's ways to bring it in, such as if you wanted to do a neutral grayish wall, put in a black floor, accent it. Put a grayish pillow on your blue sofa. But don't overkill the grayish anymore. You don't have to. It goes back to my number one trend, which is muted colors. There's ways to bring in color in a more muted, neutral way without it being over the top and overpowering.
Good questions, guys. Hey, welcome, Joel, Jennifer. Listen, Jennifer is awesome. She's always engaging on LinkedIn. So thank you, Jennifer. Joel, Dell, welcome. Bunch of great questions, guys. Great engagement. Let's continue the conversation. I think we missed number 7, which is dark painted doors.
Yes, we did. Like, sorry.
Paint my doors black? What do I do?
Believe it or not, yes. Okay, so this would be if I had a light gray wall or a white, any neutral light color on the wall, you actually would paint either the door frame white and the base molding white, and then the door itself black, or you can go with the baseboards and the door molding and the door, that dark color. So black, dark wood, dark gray. It actually brings in character to the space. And believe it or not, it's not overpowering at all. I actually wish I had a picture right now of this, because I actually did this in my own house. When you first walk into my house, you see this high gloss black piano finish door on the restroom and the guest room. And everyone's like, wow. And my floors are white. I mean, they're like a creamy white. My walls are white. And you just get this pop of color, but it's super elegant. It's not overpowering at all. We're seeing it a lot in wood tones. So, hotel lobbies, any door, like the hallway door or, the reception door behind, like, if you want to bring in those dark doors, you would just incorporate that same color somewhere else in the space, whether it's a throw pillow or if it's part of the rug or wall art, all the frames in the wall art. Like you have wall art behind you that's black framed. You, believe it or not, could do your doors black because you somehow brought it in and completed the look.
That's a good idea. Yeah, and I think it's dramatic too. Like, oh my God, this is wow. Because you don't see this.
But not in a like, oh my God, what are you thinking way.
Yeah.
That's why it's good.
Yeah, and I think it's not normal. So you get that like, wow, this is different, right? And I love standing out. I like being different. I don't want to be like everybody else, right? And that's what design's about too. It's not just, oh yeah, let's match what the neighbors are doing. But no, make it your own. Make it like you stand up, make it memorable. And then you can do that in a hotel space, especially in a lobby. Like you can wow people just from colors.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's really all you need.
If you have no money
and lighting,
go to Sherwin-Williams. And they're not a brand sponsor yet. But listen, go to Sherwin-Williams or go to actually, sure, I recommend Sherwin-Williams.
I actually do too. I think I'm one of the only designers that prefer Sherwin-Williams. They get their colors right.
They do. And it's always consistent, which I love, right? Yeah. Like I want to make sure that if I get this color and next week or a month later, a year later, I get the same color, it matches perfectly. And I'm not like, oh, wow, Right. But if you don't have a budget, paint. Do accent walls. Do you recommend that?
Yes, definitely. Actually, you can transform a space with just the paint and a little lighting, but usually just the paint. The trick is when you change out lighting or when you change paint, it usually goes hand in hand. So if I change out lighting, all of a sudden my old paint is going to look horrible. It's just not going to look the same as it did. Lighting changes that color. Yeah. And vice versa. If I'm going to repaint and I have the old lighting, it's just going to look sort of, dreary. So usually not even to switch everything out. You can really just add a lamp, add, a floor lamp, a table lamp, something like that, some sort of a lighting element in the space to make it really wow.
Yeah. And is this crazy? I follow a few companies that just do design, and I don't buy from them. Maybe like once every 2 years, I don't buy from the offer, right? But I just get their emails once a month. I get their emails and I see what the trends are. I see what's hot in this space, and then maybe I try to incorporate when it's the right time, right?
On your own time. Yeah, that's really what it is.
As far as the design, right?
Right. It does. It keeps evolving. It's pretty cool. We have one question about exposed ductwork.
Yeah.
Okay, so the exposed ductwork it's more of a style. It's more of the industrial loft look. So if that's the vibe and that's the mission that you guys are going for, it's not out. It's not a trend. It sort of goes with a design, preference. So if I am going to go with a loft style space or a guest room that's loft style, then I probably will expose the ductwork, believe it or not, because it just helps complete the room. It's almost like a finishing touch. And it's a little easier because you just spray the whole ceiling either black or white, and you don't have to worry about ceiling tiles or leaks or anything like that. But it's not a question of it being a trend. Like I wouldn't put it in a traditional living room because it just doesn't go with that style. But if you are going for that more industrial look, it's still applicable.
Right. Now, one thing that I've done in my home and we've done at our hotel in our lobbies too is the upholstered walls. And I think that's popular. And I think I see it on the list at number 9.
That's at number 10. We have one more before we get to that one.
See, I'm already messing up. What is it?
Okay. It is black and white. It's back. Totally back. Yes, with the floor patterns. There you go. And your wall art. Linens. I mean, the options are endless. Wallpaper. I would not do black and white, loud, bold pattern wallpaper unless it's very large scale. So what I mean by that, you can do a very, very large scale, like striped wallpaper if you wanted to. It's more in also like we start from the bottom up. You pick a floor pattern that you like within black and white, and you can lay it however you want. And then your base molding would be either white or black. And then your walls would be sort of the opposite. So let's say I do white base molding around. I would do the perimeter of my flooring black. And the middle would be a white pattern. And then I could do either a black wallpaper or, anything like that to sort of bring everything together. But yes, black and white it's really back. Black and white kitchens. All of it.
I never thought it went away.
Right?
No,
it did a little. There was a time when everyone leaned back away from it. Yeah. But yeah, it's back.
I feel like it was a checkered thing the back of the day where you had checkered like tiles.
It's back. Yeah. It's all back. The checkered floor is back.
Nice. Well, we don't want to, in our hotels, we don't want to spend a ton of money and we change out stuff every single year. Right. I mean, it has to last us a few years. And correct. What my rule of thumb is, like 3 years, 4 years, keep the design in and then switch it out. Especially colors, especially lighting. You were talking about lighting and colors, like the 2 easiest things that you can change out. And we do this often because it's so cheap and it transforms the entire lobby or entire room. They think like you just renovated the entire thing when you only changed out the paint and the lighting, which is super easy and cheap to do.
It is. It really is. And also like wall art. If you're scared of going black and white, bold black and white, similar to the art you have behind you, or even a black curtain. I don't know what window treatments you have in your
I don't have window treatments in this. It's just it's blinds.
But yeah, there's ways to do that black and white trend with it being affordable, and then you just swap it out when you don't want to see that black and white anymore. You don't have to do a full bold black and white. And also there's rugs. So if you wanted to keep your floor and just put down a black and white rug or some pillows throw pillows or even a throw blanket, there's ways to incorporate that.
Yeah. I think there's one, Steve says, are there nice alternatives to square LED?
In commercial spaces. Yeah. Okay. So the square LED fixtures they're in. That's what people are putting in instead of your regular old ballasts that used to go in. Now they're making strip lighting as well, which is LED. A lot of recessed cans, you could still put those, but square instead of round, even though round is in. You can also do, I would say, flush mount, semi-flush mount LED fixtures. Really, anything is in. So if you're trying to give that same like square LED fixture look, they have strip lighting now that's LED. So you can almost recess it into molding or into the metal frames of the ceiling brackets. And there's just ways to incorporate that without it being that same square LED fixture over and over and over again, or you can alternate them. So if you want to do a square and then a pattern with the strips and then go back to a square, you can also put the rounds in there as well and incorporate everything all in one.
Good. Well, I know I screwed up and I revealed the last.
You did. You gave it away.
2020. But yeah, go ahead and explain.
Okay, upholstered walls. It is very, very in, but with a twist. So as I was saying about behind reception, if you have a wall that's branded and you can't make a curved wall, you could tuft the wall with fabric. You can upholster the wall. And if you don't want to do that, you can do a very big upholstered square and frame it so it looks like it's a piece of art, and then put your digital screen or your logo on top. But that tufted upholstery or any upholstered wall is very in. So behind a reception, you can do a focal wall. You can do it in the lobby area. You can do it in the guest suites. You can even do it when you get out of the elevators and the hallways and the corridors. There are ways to incorporate it in. And just a good little cheat with it is if you don't want to spend on upholstery and tufting, you can do it with wallpaper as well. There are a lot of wallpapers that feel like fabric, that feel like leather and suede and vinyl, and you'll get the same look at a more affordable price.
Yeah, absolutely. You know who was awesome that I'm connected with? Have you heard of this this awesome designer named Stacey Garcia?
Yes.
So
she's amazing.
I should have brought, you know what? I should have brought her onto the show.
Can we have her on? Can you pull her on?
Yeah, we should. I should have. You know, I really messed up. We should have brought her on and talked about the whole design part of wallpaper. This is what she does. She does wallpaper.
Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous stuff.
Yeah, and so here's 5 years ago, I actually did Stacey Garcia wallpaper in a small part of our lobby, and it just popped that entire. It just popped it out, and it was expensive. It was like $200 a roll or something like that.
You got to fix that.
But listen, it worked. It worked because that's why I wanted that just really one small area to pop out, and I didn't spend a lot. I mean, I spent $200, but it was well worth it, right? It lasted a long time, and people are like, "Wow, what is this?" Right? And I'm gonna definitely have her on here soon and try to get her.
Talented. She's really great.
Share some ideas. But all right, so we have the top 10 design trends for hotels in 2020. Now, I love design, you love design. What are some ways quickly that we can, if we don't have a budget, we don't want to do anything, what's one thing that we could do or two things that we could do to kind of just start today on changing our space for design?
Accessories. If you don't have money to paint, because sometimes you think, oh, I'll paint it so cheap. And then you get to the wall and you realize something needs to be spackled and fixed up and patched up and primed and repainted and taped. It gets expensive. It can, if your walls are, or the popcorn has to be sanded down. Accessories. You could quickly go to a Home Goods or Marshall's or any of those types of stores and pick up new wall art or some sort of a trinket you want to put on a coffee table or a throw blanket or throw pillows. That kind of stuff really, really transforms the space. Just like you said, you just got new art on your wall. It just makes such a big difference, and it makes the room look almost new.
Yeah. And it feels good. Like you feel warm and feel comfortable, and it's inviting. And I feel like
it's inviting.
It's like when you walk, I walk in hotel lobbies and you're like, this looks ugly and it doesn't look inviting and it looks old. And like, even if you don't have a big budget, even if it's like an economy brand where you can't do anything, get color, pick a small wall, spend $20 and paint that wall and then put artwork over it. And you can transform that room.
It also feels complete. That's really the word. In order to complete a room, you need those accessories, and it actually feels finished. Sometimes you'll walk into a space and you'll be like, it's missing something. I have no clue what it is. Something is just missing. It's usually that. Like the window treatments complete the room, the art, the accessories, that kind of stuff completes the room. So it's a big deal. Even though it doesn't seem like it, it's a real big deal.
All right, so the question for the listeners, and then maybe you can answer too. All right, guys, if you're watching this, and then there's a bunch of people watching, guys, thank you so much. Pet peeve. Is it a pet peeve of yours in every hotel landing at the lobby or at the elevator to have a mirror so you can see yourself before you go down to the lobby or before you go see that person that you're going to be your date or whatever it is, or that coworker that you're going to be? Should we have a mirror that you can see yourself in at the landing on your floor? Question, right? Hit the comments and let us know if this is something that you're have a pet peeve. It's mine. Like, I want to see myself. I want to see make sure I look good and make sure I don't have like something sticking out or my tie's not whatever. Is this something that's part of design? All right, Mickey, what do you think?
It definitely is. There's really creative ways to do it. So you can have your elevator doors be mirrored. That way you don't even have to put a mirror. You can put some sort of wall art that talks about the space. You definitely need some sort of a mirror when you come on each floor out of the elevator. Yeah. But there's other ways to incorporate that mirror on each floor without actually putting a wall mirror. So.
Okay. Well, I know in Vegas, like you go to any hotel, there is a mirror on almost every floor because people are taking pictures of themselves, and guess what? They're posting and they're tagging you on it. They're tagging the hotel on it, right?
It's good marketing.
And it's great marketing. It's good. People like taking pictures of themselves, right? Especially now with social media, right? And with Instagram and all these different channels. They want that, so give it to them, right? That's what I feel.
And you can even put on the bottom, hashtag whatever your company is, and they can just tag it.
Boom, there you go. Hey, you got the bell. Boom. All right, this has been awesome. We've learned 10 things that could help us kind of just transform our hotel, our lobbies, our rooms, our restrooms, which is super important. Okay. Now, I also have a pet peeve. Like my lobby, when you walk in, it better smell good. And yes, that's a huge part of our business. So if you don't have a scent machine, and I can recommend a few, please have something that smells good when they walk in the lobby, not just food that your employees were cooking or breakfast.
Right. So that's also with the functionalism of the space. Keep that in mind when, doing space planning and layout. To have the cafeteria, the kitchen, right when you walk in, it's just not a good idea. Really not a good idea, because that's what you're going to smell. So obviously, yes, you need some sort of scenting, and also airflow. Airflow is a big thing.
What do you mean?
Air conditioning. You have to make sure your air conditioning is working properly. Your ventilation. If it's in a warmer, climate, and there's airflow from the back to the front of the space. So let's say you walk in the front, and if you keep going all the way to the back, you'll hit the beach or the bar outside. That is going to create airflow into the space. So it's also mechanics, it's engineering. It's not just put in a scent machine. But if you are on a budget, I think scent machine is the way to go more. But if you are building from scratch and you know that you have unlimited ways to do space planning, just keep all of those in mind so that way it functions properly.
Good. I love this. I love that you can transform your business, transform any space. It doesn't have to be a hotel, but especially in hotels where you have an opportunity to wow customers as they walk through the door. This is your chance. Like your first impression, like we talked about at the beginning, like you have one chance to really catch their eye, really make them feel like, oh, I made a good choice when I booked this hotel. Right. With the lobby, especially the lobby, like make
and you only have and they're going to decide right then and there if they even want to come back.
Yeah,
like they might go to the competition next door across the street if they didn't like that first impression. So
exactly. You want them to feel good, like you when they are sitting in your lobby just doing nothing, hanging out or having a coffee or spending some time in your lobby. Make sure it's a great experience for them because they're going to tell friends, they're going to post on social, they're going to rebook, they're going to tell others. I mean, there's so many opportunities just because you have a nice, well-appointed lobby with good design, good flow, good function, and then great customer service. I mean, it all starts with that. It all begins with that too, right?
Right.
But all right, great. Hey, Mickey, it was awesome speaking to you. I think we've talked for almost an hour now, and I know you're busy and you got projects to do. Where can people connect with you?
I'm on Instagram, like you said before, LinkedIn as well. My website, that's really the best way, MickyKlein.com.
There you go. Well, this is very insightful. Guys, if you like this episode talking about hotel design and trends, please hit the like button, hit the share button too, because that's the only way we can continue growing this. And I'm going to be doing this every week. Mickey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was great.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, what did you think about this episode? I love design. I think it could change your business. It's changed mine where you could just impress people like right out the door, right out the bat, like where they walk in, they're like, wow, this is awesome. I didn't expect this. And that's what you want when it comes to design. When it comes to your hotel being different than everybody else's, right? We have to do these little things, sometimes these big things, and we have to do it often. So when you're talking about design, don't let it last 10 years. Don't let it last 15 years until you start changing, but really make a change where you have a plan and you have a little budget that you continue improving your lobby, improving your rooms, improving the spaces that people really are congregating in, especially the lobby. I love when you can walk in the lobby and it's like, wow, right? Guys, thank you so much to Travel Media Group for sponsoring this episode. If you have any questions or need help with your social media, your reviews, your feedback, your guest service scores, hit up travelmediagroup.com/Rupesh, and they'll take care of you with systems that can help you drive revenues and get you better bookings, get you more bookings, right? Just through your social media. So hit up Travel Media Group. And guys, next week, I think I'm going to just come in quickly and post next Wednesday, which is Christmas morning. I'm going to post in just to say thank you so much. And I will see you next week. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and let us know that you liked this episode. And guys, I have some amazing people on for 2020. I'm excited about that. You're going to love it too, because it's great content that can help you grow your business. That's my goal here at what I'm doing at Hospitality Live with me. I want to teach you to grow your business, grow your career too. It's not just about the hotel, but it's about you improving your career in the hotel business. And guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.